Timon and Pumbaa were telling Kiara, Simba's daughter, the extraordinary story of Mufasa's life. The story begins many years ago when Mufasa was an orphaned cub. Mufasa was born into an ordinary lion family, but during his early childhood, a flood separated him from his family. One day, while wandering alone, he became hungry and weak. Fortunately, a great lion king named Obasi found him. Obasi was strong, just, and kind-hearted. He adopted Mufasa and raised him alongside his own son, Taka, later known as Scar. Mufasa and Taka grew up together. In the beginning, they were good friends and played together. Mufasa was naturally brave, kind, and had leadership qualities, while Taka was intelligent but somewhat jealous. King Obasi loved both equally, but over time it became clear that Mufasa possessed the qualities necessary for a true king. Mufasa always helped others and stood for justice. As they grew into young lions, King Obasi began thinking about succession. Although Taka was his biological son, seeing Mufasa's leadership and love for the pride, he started considering making Mufasa his heir. This sparked deep jealousy and resentment in Taka. He felt that Mufasa was taking the throne that rightfully belonged to him. During this time, Mufasa fell in love with a beautiful and wise lioness named Sarabi. Sarabi was strong, independent, and admired Mufasa's courage and kindness. Their love was natural and beautiful. They spent time together, dreaming of the future. But their happiness did not last. A cruel lion named Kairos and his powerful relatives began plotting to take over Obasi's kingdom. Kairos led a different lion group who only cared about power and self-interest, not justice or compassion. Kairos and his team attacked the kingdom. A fierce battle began. Mufasa, Taka, and King Obasi all fought to protect the kingdom. During the battle, a tragic event occurred. King Obasi was killed by Kairos. Both Mufasa and Taka were deeply affected. Taka's grief combined with his old jealousy, filling his heart with darkness. He began blaming Mufasa for all the misfortunes. After his father's death, Mufasa was forced to take on the responsibility of ruling. It was a difficult time. Kairos and his forces still threatened the kingdom. The pride lived in fear, and many problems arose. Mufasa used all his courage, wisdom, and kindness to rebuild the kingdom. Meanwhile, Taka's mindset worsened. He increasingly believed that Mufasa had stolen the throne that rightfully belonged to him. One day, he secretly allied with Kairos and began plotting against Mufasa. From that moment, Taka became known as Scar, as a deep wound had formed in his heart. Scar and Kairos together planned to trap Mufasa, but Mufasa, using his wisdom and bravery, overcame the plot, defeated Kairos, and saved the kingdom. Even after discovering Scar's betrayal, Mufasa did not kill him. Instead, he banished him from the kingdom. Scar left in anger and despair, but a fire of revenge burned in his heart. He vowed to return one day and take everything from Mufasa. After Scar left, Mufasa continued strengthening his rule and established his capital on a mountain called Pride Rock. He became known as a just and kind king, treating all animals equally and following the circle of life. Peace and prosperity returned to the kingdom. Mufasa married Sarabi, and together they ruled the kingdom. Their life was happy, and they worked tirelessly for the kingdom's prosperity. Eventually, they had a son named Simba. A wise baboon named Rafiki blessed Simba and presented him to all the animals as the future prince. Mufasa proved to be an extraordinary father, teaching Simba that a king's duty is not just to rule, but to serve. He explained that all creatures are part of the circle of life, and each has an important role. But their happiness was not to last. Scar returned, now with a group of hyenas, continuing his plots. Scar had been scheming since Simba's birth, knowing Simba would be a major obstacle to taking the throne. At this point, Timon and Pumbaa tell Kiara that the story continues into the main plot of The Lion King, Mufasa's death, Simba's exile, and eventually Simba's return to reclaim his rightful place. Kiara realizes that her grandfather Mufasa was an extraordinary king who rose from hardships to establish a great kingdom. His courage, kindness, and sense of justice still live on in Pride Rock. Mufasa's story is not just about a king, but an inspiring tale showing how an orphaned cub can become a great king through honesty, bravery, and love. His life teaches that family is not just about blood, but about love and loyalty.